Hello and welcome to another video here. We're going to be talking about Microsoft Fabric administration. Now there's a lot in this world of administration. We've had Power BI with us for many years at this point, and for you that come from that administrative background know that our tenant settings list has continued to grow over time. And with more options, we get more granularity in the level of security that we can afford, that we can apply to our users, which is great, right? We want a very refined, granular level of detail for security. That's important. The list is growing a bit large and potentially unmanageable. There's a lot of things there, but you may not be aware that you can distribute some of this responsibility to other kind of elements within the organization. And these are going to be different tiers, the hierarchy, if you will, around administration. I'm talking about tenant at the top level, capacity administration, domain administration, and workspace administration. So some of those you might be well aware of. I bet workspace is pretty common, but domains, that's a little bit of a new kid on the block. And capacity, depending on if you own capacity or not with the organization, also might be a new conversation. So in this video, we're going to dive in and look at the different options you have so you can start really kind of decentralizing the administration to those responsible in your organization in which you would like them to take more control over this scenario. So join me, Manel Quintana, as we dive into some Fabric administration. Before we dive into the actual Fabric portal itself, let's just talk about a couple of key terms and words, if you will, right? First off, we're going to be talking about delegation. What exactly is that? This is effectively us kind of assigning effectively responsibility of certain features, decision-making process to someone else, or in this case, another hierarchical object in an administrative process. So delegating certain settings to, once again, either a capacity administrator, a domain administrator, or a workspace administrator. So we can see how we can distribute that workload. So that's what we mean when we talk about delegation. And first and foremost, if you're interested in following along with this process, we do need to have some permissions available to us. And they're pretty elevated, right? To get this started, to actually be able to delegate tenant settings to any of these other areas we've discussed, you got to be at the top of the list here. So that's going to either be a global admin, that's the top of the pile when it comes to access, so probably not too many there. But then you can also be a Fabric administrator or a Power Platform admin. All three of these roles within your organization, right, that would be assigned to you from IT, would grant you access to the tenant settings of the actual Fabric portal itself. So that's kind of step one. If you don't have that, then you're going to be kind of on the side of the coin that we're going to look at, where you're going to be either at the capacity, the domain, or the workspace level, and you will now have these options available to you. So maybe that could be you, where before you didn't have any choices to make, now you will. So we're going to look at it from that top level, but all the way down through that process. So that's the first thing to make sure you're feeling aware and good about. And then the next is, once we have that capability, you're going to see it on my display as I show it to you, is the tenant setting, which, as I've mentioned, has just been growing and growing and growing, especially with the onset of Fabric. So many options available to us. And there's some good indications as to what's new. A lot of times that's highlighted for you. You can see that right away. There's some quick access buttons to jump you to that feature. But still, it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming with how much there actually is here. And since it's a SaaS service, it's changing every week, it feels like. So sometimes we need a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance, and hopefully that's what you're going to get from this video here. So now that we know where we're going to go and the role you need to do that, let's break down once again the three areas that we're going to take our time to explore just after we finish this discussion. And that's going to be capacity administration, domain administration, that one pretty new, and lastly workspace. So those are the three areas in question that we're going to explore. And right now, this is definitely an area, depending on when you're viewing this, that there might be new options. That's the whole item, right? We have some items that we're going to explore here today that are available, but this is absolutely going to be an area that's going to be extended upon over time. New options are going to arise in the tenant settings, and there will be potentially the capability of delegating that to one of those respective areas. So definitely don't consider this an exhaustive list by any means. Just know that there's more to explore. Now you're going to see and know and understand what to look for and how to enable this. Moving forward, you can apply this to any new changes that might appear. So hopefully that makes sense, and we're going to take a look at that together as we dive over to the actual tenant itself for the portal. So I'm just going to head over to my browser of choice. I'm over here just in Chrome, and I'm logged in to the actual Fabric portal itself, and I myself am a Fabric administrator, so I do have access to get to the tenant settings, which is kind of where this story starts. So I'm going to go ahead in the upper right hand corner, head over to the settings wheel and head over to the admin portal. And this is where right at the top we hit that tenant settings. And if you haven't been here, if you're seeing this for the first time, you can see as I just kind of scroll this bar, all of these are options that you can expand. You can choose, is it on, is it off? Am I going to exclude or exclude different security groups? It's an elaborate list. Now they do a great job at the beginning. Hey, here's some new things you might be interested into. You can click on it, it'll take you there, and it's fun stuff. And you can also filter on the right-hand side. But the key item that you want to be interested in is the following. You'll notice some of these also are just kind of turned on by default, and you actually can't kind of remove those. But you can see, for instance, Data Activator, right? At the time of this recording, that's what's at the top of this list. It's turned on for the Pragmatic Works organization, but you can see the capacity admin can enable and disable this. So this is the first thing we're seeing here from a delegable perspective, that if someone has capacity and I assign someone to it, they're going to have the choice to allow any workspaces that are associated with that capacity to be able to use Data Activator or not. The same thing can be said, and even in a bigger sense, users can create fabric items, right? Yes, normally you might think this is just an organizational on and off switch, just a big on and off, but you can actually break that down more granular and say, hey, you know what? We got capacity. I'm going to let the capacity administrators dictate just so we have a couple of workspaces that have access to this. This is what we're seeing. This is how you can break this down. So you're looking for this option right here. And it's not always, you can see 2 out of 2 there. It's on by default. But if I continue down to, let's say, our retail data, you can see that I have the ability of turning this on. So we'll see that in a moment. So how does this look? Let's say, we have a couple that are on by default. So that means there's already delegable settings available to me. What we'll do is start with capacity settings, which is just located here on the left. You don't at this point need to be a global admin for this. You don't need to be a Power Platform, Fabric admin, or global. At this point, you need to be assigned a capacity admin, that's it, and you will see this setting. And the area where you want to be looking is just to the right. When you select your capacity in question, you just look to the upper right corner, you can see there's delegated tenant settings. And right at the top, we see there's Data Activator, there's users can create fabric items. So for my organization, this was turned on. Everybody in Pragmatic Works can create fabric items. I just simply override it, disable it. Any workspaces that are associated with this capacity can no longer create fabric artifacts. So you can see literally these kind of organizational level settings, right? Historically, that's where it's been reserved and kept to, can be managed at a different level within this hierarchy. So naturally, you do want to take consideration and think about what options we do want to make available. So you really need to kind of structurally consider who's responsible here. This might be a whole new role that we're kind of creating for our organization. So you don't want to just kind of flip the switch and give access to everything at these different tiers. You do need to look at these options. You do need to consider the impact of it and make that most correct decision. As with anything when it comes to security, when we think about governance, we want to make sure we're just not opening up any sort of doors accidentally that shouldn't be. So remember, with all of this is a very important area. Always be taking that into consideration. So that's going to be where you go for capacity. Well, what about that next tier, right? Because workspaces can be assigned to capacities, and you can assign as many workspaces as you want. Well, interestingly enough, the newest item in this kind of organizational hierarchy is going to be the domain. Now, domains, right, are trying to fit into this kind of data mesh world where we're trying to kind of decentralize these workloads, but we can also assign specific workspaces, once again, to domains. So it almost carries a similar kind of definition to a capacity, but in this case, you can have one capacity that has 10 workspaces, and across those 10 workspaces, 5 could be to one domain, and 5 could be to a different, right? So it does kind of fit underneath as far as hierarchy is concerned. But still, this is going to be another level of administration. And once again, we can dictate certain features. There's not a lot currently available here when it comes to the domain administration, but we do think that this is going to be growing over time. So in the same sense and same way, you can head over into your tenant settings. Right now we have certifications, right? If we head over here, we can look and see if we expand this. It's been enabled, but I can say, hey, you know what? From a domain perspective, I would like this to be something that can be controlled at that level. So capacity, now domain. And very much, you might have guessed it if you haven't seen it, right on the left, we have a section here of domains. All I need to do is select this object. This is where you manage and create your domains. As you can see, I have a couple available to me. Definitely check it out. I did do a recent YouTube just kind of breaking down domains, what their purpose is, their intention, creating them, and those various options. So definitely check that out. If this is new, as you can see, it's carrying the new tag, so it's pretty fresh. But once you choose your domain, you can go in and go to the actual settings of this, and you will find at the very bottom delegated settings. There's a possibility if you're working and kind of interacting with domains and you do not see this setting, it's simply because nothing's been delegated. So that very option that I just showed you hasn't been checkboxed and allowed. So this is where you would go to see it, and I can make choices. And the choices that I make here will impact any and all workspaces that are associated with this domain itself, as well as technically any subdomains. So that's the next level. And then last, following in the same suit, hopefully it's making sense, it's just kind of structuring the tier here, is going to be our workspace administration. And in the same exact light as we saw before, when we go over here into our tenant settings, we can access, let's say you're really interested in the Git configuration, right? Power BI's new integration with Git, which we have some great content on YouTube as well for that. And we've added some stuff into our ODL on that front. But I can go and look at this Get feature and say, okay, you know what? This is all really about workspaces. That's the whole idea behind this feature. Why don't I let this capability be determined by my workspace administrators? So you can see in this example, I have two choices. Do I want this to be managed by capacity, which once again handles multiple workspaces, or do I want to get even more detailed, even more granular, and go right down to the workspace itself and let those administrators decide, are we going to leverage this new feature or not? And it's just a matter of checking the box in question, just like this. And now this is the first one we're going to be a little different because we don't really have the workspace option here. We simply go to whatever workspace we have in question. And under those workspace settings, we will find once again, delegated settings. So you can see here, I can see my OneLake settings in this case. If we want to get integration, we can find that's right here. So once again, we can make those decisions. Now this choice to enable this feature doesn't have to be decided by a global admin. You can have a much more refined process on deciding where and when certain features should be made available. So that's the idea here, and hopefully kind of unpacking this kind of hierarchy that's available to you will help out in your decision-making process in the Power BI adoption process, wherever you're at in your Power BI administration, whether you've been doing this for 8 years, whether you've been doing it for 2 months. It's very important that you really plan and put this into perspective when you're making these types of considerations. And as part of this, right, naturally, of course, I mentioned there's already, if domains is new, which it probably is, check out that YouTube video. But also, we do offer some other services that can help in this realm. Things like virtual mentoring, where if you are new to this tenant area, we can come along with you, look at these kind of default settings, talk about best practices, and really kind of start that journey off for you, safe, sound, good, and grounded, just a solid foundation. Or if you've been using this for a while and you're looking to expand your wings and kind of dip into new areas, that's also a great opportunity to hop in and do some virtual mentoring with myself or any of the other professionals we have here at Pragmatic Works to just go into, whether it be tenant settings, capacity administration, all of those great things. As well, don't forget to leave some comments here in this video itself around what you're doing to administer and manage your Power BI adoption. Are you taking advantage of domains? Have you maybe just purchased a fresh new Fabric capacity and started implementing that? Let us know your stories on what you're doing, what successes you've had, and also don't forget if you're having any sort of pitfalls as well. Maybe there's certain features that you're interested in that we can illuminate for you, or maybe even come up with a YouTube video to show you, hey, you know what? That is here. It does exist. We can take advantage.